Hey, everybody.
Oh, you didn't see that coming, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Just do it.
One more time.
I ain't doing it.
Is he joking or is he serious?
He's joking.
You hope he's joking.
He's joking.
But again, you have the right to.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Outer Bell Podcast. This is your producer, Jer Bear. And to my left, we have your host, Patrick Lee.
Hey, everybody.
And to my right, we have our co-host, Vince, a.k.a. Chili.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? How you doing tonight? This morning.
This morning.
This afternoon. Today.
Whenever you're listening to it.
Whenever you're listening.
What time is it? You tell me.
Game time.
Game time. Game time USA. Party USA.
Party USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Let's do it.
Woo.
What a day. What a day.
What a week.
What a week.
What an MFN
What a
week.
mighty fine week.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that worked out.
Mighty fine.
Mighty fine. Oh, what a great intro. Appreciate it, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Continue.
I ain't got nothing else to say, y'all.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
come
You got
on.
plenty to say, Jer.
I don't know what we're talking about tonight.
We're
Well,
talking about everything.
Right now, we're talking about
Everything.
how was your day?
My day was good.
No, I'm not. You,
You're the
You got the
host.
rundown on the notes, right?
No.
You should have got the
We all-
rundown. We
it's-
all get that note.
yeah, it's all works a shared note.
Shared, exactly. It
Yeah.
says right here. Today we're going to talk about greetings. How was your weekend?
I literally write it out.
He literally writes it
I
out.
literally write it out.
Yeah, 'cause otherwise I have no clue.
Yes.
You know what? I now see it.
It's only been 28 episodes. And we've only done the exact same thing every single time. But, you know,
Except for in Jerry's defense, which I feel like I'm defending Jerry an awful lot today.
you should.
In Jerry's defense, last week it didn't pop up till 2 days after the show.
What
that
was
you
up
made
with
correction.
that?
I don't know.
That was.
I don't know.
And I don't get any type of notification. Maybe I got my notifications turned off.
Probably.
Well, that's who's. I didn't
Any
do that.
notifications
I
from
don't
Patrick
use-
turn off.
I actually don't use Notes.
Oh,
Really?
Surprisingly, I use Notion.
Notion.
It's a free. It does more than just notes. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
At least this one's free. The last thing he talked about on the show that he really liked is Breville coffee maker that cost $500. I'm still making payments on that thing because I had to get Melissa one.
Did you really?
No, I didn't. No.
I was about to get all excited
No.
for you, Melissa.
No.
I'm still, you
Mr.
know.
Coffee still rules the house. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I got it. Mine's still. I got a. Is it DeLonghi? Is that how you say it?
I think it is
yeah,
DeLonghi. Yeah.
And I just had to descale mine. I went to go make my espresso shot, and I pressed the button, and it like barely anything came out, and I was like, that doesn't
Yeah.
seem right. And then it popped up a warning: you must descale us. So then, of course, I had to order the descaler.
Right. So you're
And-
now
I-
3 days
no,
out of.
Let's rephrase that. I first ran it through without the descaler solution, and it was like, no. We see what you're doing here. No. So then I had to order it. Took me a couple days. Got it. Well, actually, it was the next day. Actually, it was overnight.
Nice.
So I actually did it in the morning with my when I would have made my coffee the next morning, and it worked. And so now I can have my espresso again. But I like the Breville stuff. It looks really, really nice.
It does look really,
just
really
looks
nice.
complicated,
And
doesn't it?
just to be clear, she can buy her own. You know, it's I don't have to buy it. She makes her own money. She can buy her own if she wanted one. So it's not like she has to have my permission to do anything.
I want to come to your house and see this coffee maker.
I'll
I've heard
set
so
up
much
an
about.
alert. I'll keep an eye on the price because it was a price drop on Amazon for me when I got it. So
And let's not forget Amazon Prime Day is just a couple days away,
That's
right.
right. It
11th.
is coming up.
Yeah.
It is coming up.
Prime Day. Yeah, if you're a trucker out there and you're interested in hitting up Prime, you don't have to have it delivered to your house. You can actually, they have if you don't know, they have boxes all across the nation. A lot of them are at Whole Foods. So
Loves.
does Love's have them now?
Loves has started
Love's,
picking up
Stop
TA.
it.
TA. Yeah.
What?
TA and Petro out at
yeah.
in Ontario, California, they have them all back the whole wall behind the
Yeah.
bathrooms.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Man, I had it rough when I was
You
out
did have it
driving.
rough.
We
You
didn't
did
have
have it rough.
Lyft. We didn't have Uber.
You
We
had
didn't
to-
have
you
Prime.
had to drive uphill both ways.
We had to drive up. I was in a factory sleeper.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness.
We learned on a manual transmission
what?
truck.
You know, what we should do? We should get you and Eric back in a truck in one of these nice, fancy 110 20-inch custom sleepers with a bathroom.
Yeah.
And let you guys run it for a couple of years, and then you can have the full experience and know what we go through out there today with these trucks. I don't think your experience is anything like ours.
I agree with you. I don't think it is.
It's not.
I mean, y'all have it.
We can be
That's
like
not
the CEO that goes undercover.
Right.
and-
Yes.
Undercover boss.
Yeah.
I'll give you,
Exactly.
I thought it was Undercover Brother. What's that?
Nuts movie.
Oh, it's a movie?
That was a movie, but yeah,
Sorry.
Undercover Boss is the TV show. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
I could see you showing up at the yard with, a wig or something,
Yes.
and surprising me, and I'm like, oh, this is the new guy. Okay,
I'll
let
just
me
shave
train
my.
him.
I'll just shave my beard off.
Yeah,
You'll never know
I'll
it's
never
me.
know. I'll never know.
Oh, this is some good ideas. Like I want to record this. I want to do this.
Oh, it'd
Okay.
be fun.
Well,
Yeah.
It'd
if we
be
can
fun.
find it, we got to find a good producer.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, sorry, I missed my cue.
Oh my goodness.
We one of my favorite episodes. By favorite, I mean this guy's a jerk. But you need to keep this in mind. I'm just saying, was the episode they did with Peavy. So Peavy's sound equipment,
Okay,
guitar, instrument
Amps and
manufacturer, and all that
things,
stuff.
yeah.
And they went and did theirs, and he went and did the whole thing. And as soon as it came out, like the next month after it came out, he fired everyone. They shut the factory down.
Wow.
Yeah. So just think, it's not always a good thing for the staff.
It would be fun.
It would be a good
fun.
time. It'd be worth it.
The waste management
would be
one was
worth
really
it.
cool.
I
The
haven't
waste-
seen it in so long.
Oh, the waste management one. It came on right after a Super Bowl or something. It was
Okay.
really, really good. And this guy's like driving a dump truck, and then the next thing he's right on the back, and throwing the stuff in. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that looks like that'd be fun to do for one day.
For one day.
One day.
One day.
I don't know that I want to do it all the time, but I will say this: when you see the guys on the back of the garbage trucks running around, they're never fat.
No, they're not. You're
No,
right.
they're always lean.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great weight loss. It's the new weight loss plan, y'all.
But
It's
so many of them, though, don't dump the trash cans manually. They pull up, they stick the arm out, grab it, dump it over, and move it.
yeah. It's,
Now
how
on
it is in
my
front of my house.
on our cul-de-sac, excuse me, the way our cul-de-sac is and where my trash cans go, and my neighbor and the neighbor next to us,
Yeah.
he actually has to get out and move them so he can line up the truck properly because there's a car parked in the way when
I
he
can
makes
see
the
that.
loop. But again, all he's doing is the same thing I do when I put him out there, is using the wheels to push him around a little bit. He hops in his truck and backs up and grabs him and on his way.
Yeah, but you do that 150 times a day.
But he's not doing it 100 times a day.
That's true.
Everybody else in my cul-de-sac on our block, he can just drive up to and pick up. It's 3 cans he has to move.
That's got to be annoying.
Now, the guys who really get the work out is the guys that are doing the yard waste, because they're picking up the
Oh, yeah.
paper bags. When they come to our house in October, they're picking up, 80-something paper bags we had out there one day?
Well, or the people that do the tree shredding or tree shredding.
Right, the tree shredding.
It's a tree
yes, when they
when
shred
they pick
the
up
entire tree.
when they get the limbs, they throw them in the thing, and
Right,
it
yeah.
as long as you don't get sucked in, it
Yes. You don't want to get sucked in.
you don't want to get sucked in.
No, not at all.
No kill switches on those things. It seems.
Well, they do have kill switches. They have safety switches. But I've heard stories of them being turned off or not functioning properly, so the machine just runs. I won't tell you who told me that story.
I don't want you to tell me who told you that story, but it does remind me of, remember in Switzerland a couple years ago, they had a ski lift that went crashing down a hill, and like it killed all those people. Do you remember
Wow.
any of this?
No.
It was so it was one of the ski lifts where like there's 3 cables, 2 of them support the weight, and one of
Okay.
them is the pull rope.
Right.
So the pull rope snaps, and on those ski lifts, those giant ski lifts,
they
the
the
ones
big-
that
the
have
big
big
gondolas?
big
Okay.
gondolas that have like 40, 50 people in them,
Right.
they have automatic brakes. So if it goes too fast, it automatically
just
locks the
clamps,
brakes
yeah.
down and clamps them down. They were having issues with it, so somebody bypassed them. The cable snaps,
Yeah.
and people go careening down a mountain, and it hits the first tower and flies off, and everybody died. It was a tragic situation, but it's that same bypassing the safeties. That blows my mind when I see people do that.
I imagine it being something like this. Hey, Sven, the brakes on the gondola is not working properly. I can bypass it if you want. And Sven says, send it. That's it. That's all I got.
I can see that. Absolutely.
I left a pause in front of that so Jerry can cut that out.
Okay. He won't, but I can see that happening. Well, I do have to apologize for those of you that were on the live last week or this past week. You may have noticed it was a little short. And we were a little short, and we were kind of like quick and fast and like, all right, see you, everybody, bye.
Yep.
I had to make. I don't know if you know this, Vince. I had to make a flight that you took me to right after the podcast. So we ended our podcast at 7:00. I live about half an hour from the airport, and I had to be on an airplane for 7:59. So as soon as we hit cut and we were done, immediately Vince and I just walked out like superstars.
Right.
Didn't turn the power off, lights, nothing. We left
the roadies do everything else.
Yes, left the roadies and Jerry to knock everything else out for us, which they did. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you very much.
And hauled tail to the airport, got there, grabbed my backpack as I was like, bye, and then walked in, and I didn't even bring a check bag or anything because I didn't want to, I didn't have any time for it. Get through security, everything's going great.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the hall. Of course, I get gate 56, so it's the very last
gate.
And I'm like, walking there, and I feel a vibration on my phone. I'm like, it's probably Vince just saying like, hope you made it or something, because we did talk about like if I missed the flight, I was going to call you to come pick me up. It was that close. I thought I missed the flight legit. Pull the phone out of my pocket. Your flight's been delayed. 10 minutes, not a big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
You can slow your walk a little bit.
Exactly. Calm down, take a break.
Yeah.
Of course, by then the restaurants had closed and everything, so there was no food or anything I get. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll walk back and be no big deal. 10 minutes turned to 15 minutes. 15 minutes turned to 20 minutes. 20 minutes turns to half an hour. And now I'm like, ooh.
There's a
I had a
flight.
59-minute connection, and now we've shaved 30 minutes off that.
Yeah.
And the plane's not on the ground. Like, there's not a plane at gate 56 yet. So I was really like, what's going to happen here? And at that point, I was texting back and forth with y'all, and I think you would even offer to come pick me back up, right? And I was like, nah, I'm at least going to get to Atlanta. If I don't make my flight to Texas, then I'll stay at the hotel there. Delta's really good about if they cause the delay,
right,
they'll put you up at a hotel. So I was like, at least I can do that and then catch the morning flight out. So finally, pilot comes over and says to the gate agents, hey, go ahead and let's board the flight. We're good to go. So cool, no big deal.
Yeah.
And we wait. And we wait.
You're waiting on the plane at this point.
No, I'm sorry. The plane had already arrived. I did skip that step. You're right. The plane had arrived about 20 minutes in. The plane did arrive.
The pilot comes in and says...
So all the people get off the plane.
Right.
A couple minutes goes by, and then the pilot comes out and says, hey, you can go ahead and send everybody down. We're ready for the... They busted tail and cleaned the plane ish as quickly as they could, which at that point, I don't even care. Don't even clean it. Let us on the plane.
Let's go.
Yeah. Walk through, make sure there's no contraband, and then let's wheels up. So we're waiting, and there's another first officer there, not with Delta, but someone else. We're waiting, and the captain's already said load the plane, and they're not loading us, and she was about to lose her mind. I mean, she's like pacing, she's pulling up her phone, she's looking at all the data, she's like, he's told us to board. Why are we not boarding? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Not even the they always let the people that have disability, like limited mobility, go first. Pre-boards, yes. They weren't allowing anybody on. And it's like, what's happening here? We have connections we have to make, and they are just being so laissez-faire. Just, we'll get to it when we get to it. It was just unbelievable. So finally, get on the plane. At this point, I've missed my connecting flight. There's not a chance.
Right.
So not even worried about it. I'm going to relax. I'm going to get to Atlanta. I'm going to immediately go to the... actually, I don't have to go anywhere because now if you miss your flight and it's their fault, they actually send you a link. And you can do your hotel reservation, everything straight from your phone. You don't have to actually. So I'm thinking like I'm going to go straight to the hotel shuttle place and get the hotel shuttle and go. And I'm sitting on the plane watching people board. I'm pulling up a movie to watch. And I get another vibration in my phone. And I'm like, let me see what this is. Your flight to Dallas, Texas has now been delayed 47 minutes. I was like the happiest person on the planet. Perfect. Now I'm like, let's go. Load the plane. Come on. We got to go. Hurry. Take your seats. We got to get this thing airborne. I got a flight I can make now. So we take off. We get to Atlanta. My flight got delayed a little more even. So I actually had enough time to go and have dinner before the flight took off, and then was able to get over to the gate and get on the airplane and made it to Texas. Got there. I was supposed to get there around 11. Got there around 1. So couple hour delay. Everything worked out great. The reason I was going to Texas is we dropped a truck off there a few weeks ago. It's a sleeper company that's no longer in business. But the place in Texas we bring our trucks is a sleeper company that is still in business.
Right.
And they build their trucks similarly enough. They're the best option
for repairing
for repair.
Particular issue.
And this issue was a water tank was ruptured. And so they're custom molded water tanks. They're not just generic. You can buy them from Guitar RVs,
Center.
From Guitar Center or RV.
I think they're made by
Camping
PV,
World.
right?
Yes, exactly. So they actually have to, get their plastics guy to make a new water tank and everything that fit the spot. They'd gotten that done and knocked it out because it is unusual for us to take a truck all the way to Texas to get something like that repaired. But this was a special situation with the water tank. I showed up. I was at that company for maybe 6 minutes. And I saw the people inside the truck. 6 minutes later, they get out of the truck. And the manager comes over and he's like, all right, you're good to go.
Nice.
So I did my pre-trip. Everything looked good on the truck and got on the road. It was the fastest I've ever gotten in and out of that place.
That's great.
Everything time-wise worked out great. I ended up getting back to Columbus early enough to have dinner. I mean, it just, not the same day, the next day, but it just ended up working out. From 2 delays, everything else worked out perfect.
When you called me when you get back in town here in Columbus to say you were in town, I was surprised how early it was.
Yeah.
I was expecting another, late night kind of deal, but I was surprised how early it was.
I still log. So people ask me that too when I drive trucks. I still log. I still go
of course.
The governed speed limit of the truck and everything. I was down 10 hours and 19 minutes for my 10-hour break. So I could have been here 19 minutes earlier.
Right.
But I hit traffic perfect. I mean, I didn't stop for nothing. That's
awesome.
You hit Dallas, Texas at noon.
Right.
Not a big deal.
No.
You can get right through.
Yeah.
You hit it at 5.
No.
You just added 2 hours to your trip. Yeah. And it just worked out. I hit Memphis at like 7 p.m., which is just after rush hour.
Yep.
Got through it just fine. I hit Little Rock at 4.
Okay.
So just before, just everything worked out.
Yeah,
boom, 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 boom. Perfect. I was really, really lucky. And so glad to be back to Columbus. I tell you what, this cold weather, though. I was down in Texas.
Weather. Yeah.
I was so warm. I get here, and today I got shorts and a T-shirt on. I go outside, and I'm like, why is it cold? It was 63 degrees.
It was a little chilly this morning.
I was like, what's happening?
We're still dealing with relatively chilly mornings, but it's warming up nicely.
I guess, but does Ohio know summer started yesterday?
Have you seen the storms we're getting so far this summer? It's typical Ohio summer where you have beautiful days and you have rain for 3 hours and it stops.
Yeah. Well, and 3 hours is even a long time. A lot of times it's 45 minutes or 30 minutes. It just blows right through and you're good. The actual lingering rain is a little unusual for this area. When I was down in Louisiana, it would rain all day. Like you would literally have 2 days where it didn't stop raining the whole time.
Right.
Up here, we don't really get that.
No, but down there you're in that bowl, right?
True.
And the storms come in and they stay. They hang out for a little bit because they can't get out because there's not enough wind pushing them out. Here, we're in the flat, open plains.
It flies by.
And the winds just push it on through.
Absolutely.
Just get out.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Well, cool. So that's a little bit about me. How's your day been?
It's been a busy week. It's been
our week.
Well, the day, the week, it's all been just busy.
It's a blur.
It's a blur.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a meltdown on Tuesday. Stressing a little bit on the trucks that we need to get pushed out and that I just don't have to push out. So we're working with our shops to get those trucks ready and to move on. We're doing our best right now to take care of the things that we can take care of. By we, I mean Melissa, Lee, and I.
Yeah.
Get those things knocked out before we get them to a shop where they might sit for a few days where they get touched because they've got other stuff they're working on. So, but you and I had a conversation. I had a conversation with Kelly. You guys talked me off the ledge, and I recognize that I'm doing what I can do to make these things happen. But it's a little stressful. You got teams that are chomping at the bit to get started. Yeah, and we want to put them in trucks and get them out there, and it's a little stressful to be kind of in that middle. So
Yeah, I think we all feel that stress.
sure.
And how we manage it, how we look at it, how we handle it's different.
It is.
You know, I think you went through this a little bit with your trade shows, but I definitely went through it being a cook in New Orleans. So I don't remember if I've talked about this on the podcast or not, but I put myself through college by cooking at nice restaurants in New Orleans. And when you get that rush and when you get yourself in the weeds and everything is crashing down and you've got more tickets than you
Sure.
can handle and there's just actively printing
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to make all this food. The one thing we always would tell people, and you would have to tell yourself and remember, is don't stop working, do what you can do, and just don't stop. Just
Sure.
keep doing what
Yeah.
you can do.
Right.
And you will dig yourself
You can
out
do it.
every single time. You'll dig yourself out of the weeds. It's when all of that comes crashing down and we freeze up and we shut down, that's when the problem starts happening.
I think for
And
me,
so-
it's when I second guess myself.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty calm and cool. Yeah, I might be stressed on the inside, but I don't show it a whole lot.
You have a very calm demeanor.
But when I start second guessing myself, am I doing this right? Could I have done this differently? Could I have sent this truck to this shop instead of this way? Is when I start to get a little discombobulated.
I get that. I feel that.
And once I was able to sit down after talking to you and Kelly, as I would sit down and look at what things look like, I was able to make some changes. You know, we
Yeah.
have a truck that's over at ELW that needed it's waiting for 2 parts. Those 2 parts aren't going to keep me from getting the rest of the truck done.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pull that truck from there, get other things done on the truck, and we'll take it back when they have the parts.
Yeah.
As opposed to just letting it sit there doing nothing. So once I was able to do that, things worked out a little better. I was able to clear my head and just focus on making those changes. And a lot of what we do, it changes day to day.
It does.
You know, we have plans for a truck to be on the road next week. Well, guess what? The Freightliner dealership's waiting for a part for that truck, and they can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
It may not be on the road next week, so we have to juggle something else and,
Yeah.
and figure out what's what. So,
And the two things I would say to that is, we have a amazing relationship, and I think I started building it, but you have definitely fostered it with our vendors, where a lot of times if you have a truck in the shop and you pull it out of the shop,
That's
they
it.
just
Yeah.
cut you to the bottom of the line, and,
Right.
and that's it. Exactly. They
Right.
just don't care about you anymore. But our vendors, because we've established those relationships, we've been loyal, and we work with them, and we're flexible to them, they've become flexible to us.
sure.
So when we have a situation like that, they know we're bringing that truck back.
Right.
So they don't have to cancel a parts order. They don't have to worry about, are they going to bring it back? Are they going to pay their bill? Are they going to X, Y, or Z?
Sure.
They know we're going to do it. And so that has enabled us to really be flexible in a way a lot of companies can't be. And I think it's a credit to that relationship y'all have maintained. It's really, really good. But secondly, I would say the other thing is when we get a lot of people going, hey, what truck am I going to get 3 weeks out?
Right.
Hey, what truck are we going to get? We got approved. We're going through orientation in 2 weeks. Then we're going to turn in our 2 weeks notice. So we're going to be there in a month.
Right.
What truck are we getting? And it's like, no clue.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
We've literally, we've had everything from you're getting into a truck that's been ready to go for a week and a half
Sure.
and it's good to go, all the way to your truck was running down the road 2 weeks ago with a
Right.
different team in it.
Right.
And when we got the truck back, because maybe we put them in a bathroom truck, or maybe they decided to go to a different carrier, or what have you, whatever the reason is, that truck came back in such good condition, we pivoted and put you in the better truck.
Right.
And all of our trucks are good. I hate using the word better truck, but maybe it's less stress on us to get you into that truck than it is
Sure.
a different one, or what have you. And trucks come back in various stages of needing repair. When they leave, they always leave good, but they don't always come back good. So we do a little bit of that, a lot of that actually.
We do a lot of that. Yeah.
And some stuff, it's like it needs to be cleaned and it
Right.
may need an oil change. Other stuff is it needs new frame rails.
Yep.
I mean, it's every.
It happens that way.
That is
though.
it's
And,
a stretch, but yeah.
But it's the same thing with trucks that we get in, and we have a team set for a truck, and usually we have a certain space in the yard that we do our move-ins.
Yes.
And so the day before, generally, sometimes 2 days before, if we don't have anything else in between, we'll go move that truck into
Stage
that
it.
spot and we'll stage it. We'll start it up, and guess what? It won't start.
Yeah.
And the APU decided it wanted to take a dump on us.
Yeah.
Or other issues come up that we find, in that moment where the TCU doesn't want to fire.
Yeah.
The TCU is the reefer on the FedEx trucks. It's been sitting, and we haven't started the TCU, and it doesn't want to fire now, where it's been through maintenance and everything, and it was fine. So that becomes another issue. And that's where we take those trucks that come back in really good condition that we can turn really fast. And instead of having to stress and take it to a shop and say, I need this 5 minutes ago, we can pivot to a different truck and make it happen. I think I told the story before where when Melissa and I first started, we arrived in Medina for our Panther orientation on a Saturday. And that night we were told, oh, you were assigned this truck, but we're switching you to this truck because someone detailed the wrong truck.
Yeah.
We still got into a truck the next day like we had planned to, but it was last minute switch. So it happens all the time.
Yeah. And then I think we do a pretty good job. Like even back then, we were giving out truck numbers a few days ahead of time.
Sure.
We don't do that anymore. Now it's pretty much day of or day before we give the truck number out. And it's funny, when Eric and I first started driving, we were with a pretty big fleet. They had like 200 trucks. It was the same thing. They said, hey, you pick your truck up from this office when you get here. And it was like, cool. There was no truck number assigned. Like we found out the day of what we were getting, and it is just that. It's being able to catch everything, make sure we get everything out, and sitting out the trucks in the best condition possible. Sometimes we have to be flexible. Yeah. So it does make it frustrating, especially we've done some experimenting. So like we do have a Western Star fleet at FedEx, and we have a Cascadia fleet, and we still have some older Cascadias.
Right.
And so. And then we were exclusively AA sleepers, and then they stopped making sleepers. So now we are bolt sleepers. So we have a little bit of a mix in there. So it is kind of hard to pinpoint.
It is.
I can guarantee you're going to get all the same amenities no matter what truck you get.
Exactly.
But I can't guarantee the color fabric.
Right.
And some of the floor plan changes will be a little different. So that's some of the frustrating things. That it's like, I wish we had a little more of a standardized fleet, and we were working towards that. It's just... getting there's not easy.
It takes time.
And when you buy a truck, like AA quit making trucks 3 years ago, so we're in the process of phasing those out, but it still takes time. It takes years to phase a truck out because you keep them so long. So, and we keep our trucks 4 or 5 years and sell them, so we're not even keeping them a whole long time.
So I'm curious. I get this question a lot.
Okay.
We replaced a water tank on a truck just recently. The question I get asked a lot is, how much water do those tanks hold?
Okay.
So I'm posing the question to you.
Oh, I thought you knew.
No.
I thought this was one of those. I thought this was one of those tests.
No, I'm posing the question to you.
So, they vary.
Okay.
The smallest one's about 12 gallons.
All right.
The biggest ones are about 26 to 30, somewhere in that range. Kind of depends on the sleeper brand.
Sure.
Also, the shower trucks carry considerably more water than the non-shower trucks do.
Makes sense.
It's not a ton. We tell people, like, if you're going to take a shower, make sure you have water.
Yeah, make sure you fill it up.
Get halfway through your shower and be like, uh-oh.
and it's going to be a spit shower, too. Turn the water on, get yourself wet, turn the water off, soap up, turn the water on, rinse off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've always thought of the showers in the trucks as good backups.
Oh,
so,
yeah, sure.
If you're, like, some of our loads require security just for the nature of what we carry. Mm-hmm. And so if you end up in a situation where you got to be at a safe haven for 3 days, you may want to shower and freshen up.
Right.
That's a good time to use it. Otherwise, I think a truck stop shower, it sounds gross, and you're like, oh, a truck stop shower. They're nice. They're really nice. They clean them after every use, usually. And they're cleaning with bleach. They're not going in there with like little pine sol and make it fresh. They're bleaching it down. And so and most of them have good pressure. They have great hot water and all. The showers are pretty nice.
Yeah.
They're not the old school 1980s trucker showers. They're a lot nicer than they used to be.
Private showers.
Private and nice materials, solid surface countertops, like just really cool stuff. That, even if I drove a bathroom truck, that's what I would use.
Sure.
That being said, we have a bunch of teams that have the bathroom trucks, and they shower exclusively in them.
They do.
And I'm like, that sounds like a pain. And they're like, not really, because if you go and you top off your water, then you can do 2 showers and have enough water for dishes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd be nervous in that second shower.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I would be very nervous in that second shower.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you're used to it, if you know how to conserve and know how to use your water, it's not so bad.
And if you plan it just right, as you're fueling, your teammate can get a shower.
Yes.
In the truck.
Over the drain.
Because you're fueling, you're adding water, and they're getting a shower.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then when they're done, make sure the water's topped off. You go park, you get a shower. Unless you're going to keep moving, but it's happened before.
Huh. I never thought about that.
Made it happen.
I never had it. Y'all two had that, something Eric and I never had. We never had a bathroom truck, so we never really, that was never.
Sure.
It's not a topic of concern when you don't have one.
Yeah, you're not thinking through that process because you don't have the shower to do it in. But we made it
But
happen.
I have had on the regular trucks, I've been washing dishes after we cooked or whatever and run out of water, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. What are we going to do now?
That can be kind of frustrating. But yeah, so 12 gallons is the smallest tank.
Okay.
And the biggest ones are usually 26 to 30.
Good to know.
So
good to know. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Anything else I can help you with?
Oh, there'll be more later, I'm sure.
Usually it's a 5-gallon hot water tank too. So it's usually about a 3 to 5 gallon water tank, a hot water tank.
Well, we've got the 5-gallon tank in the shower trucks. I knew we have some instant hot water tank heaters too, don't we?
Oh, we do. Yes. You're right. We got quite a few trucks actually use the on demand.
Nothing like walking around a truck trying to find the water heater and realize, it's on demand. It's just tucked up in there.
And those get the water really warm.
Yes, they do.
Hot.
Yes, they do.
Not so much, but they do get them really warm.
The ones that get the water really hot are the ones that run off the engine where the water flows through the engine. Those get really hot. And you can't adjust the temperature on those. No. They're stuck at 140.
Yeah.
So what you have to adjust is with the little cold water added to it.
I saw an article, and I sent it to you earlier, and I was going to ask you about it. And I'm really curious what you think because I've had some dealings with this. A lot of our trucks have this feature, and I wanted to know what you thought about it. This will be fun because Vince, I don't think you've ever had this in one of your trucks. Jerry, you have.
Okay.
So, federal regulators are proposing a rule that will require all trucks over 10,000 pounds to be equipped with automatic emergency braking and electronic stability control systems. The FMCSA is trying to propose that all the Class 7, 8 trucks within 3 years of the ruling would be required to have the emergency braking automatic emergency braking systems. So, what these are is when something gets in front of your truck and it detects that you're coming upon it fast enough and you're not placing the brake, it'll do it for you. So, Jerry, you were in a truck that would do this.
Yes.
Vince, you were not.
I was not. But I've driven them around town locally, but not over the road.
Yeah. So, I am curious what y'all think about it. And I'll reserve my judgment till later. I'll give you some nuts and bolts while you're thinking about informing your thoughts. They're talking about, the Trucking Safety Coalition Executive Director, Zach Callahan, said sometimes truck drivers are distracted or fatigued, and automated emergency braking is ineffective even when humans make mistakes. It's a slam dunk for roadway safety. The technology is a game changer, capable of significantly reducing truck crashes, injuries, and fatalities, says Harry Alder of the Institute for Safer Trucking. FMCSA and the NHTSA. So FMCSA is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Act, right? Agency. And the NHTSA is the National Highway
Traffic
Safety Administration. Both agencies are sponsoring this research. They've been field testing these things for over 10 years. They're saying that this rule would prevent every year 19,118 crashes. 155 lives would be saved by this, and 8,814 non-fatal injuries per year. They say it would eliminate an estimated 24,828 property damage only crashes as well. This will add about $353 million a year of benefit. I mean, not benefit of cost, which is basically how much the systems cost to add to all the trucks. That they don't retrofit these into older trucks. These would be new trucks. But it generates a net benefit of $2.6 billion. And then the cost of maintaining these systems is minimal, which I will say we've been running these things now for about 3 years, and I think we've had one truck that had to have something worked on. It's very, very, very slim, very reliable product. That being said, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to defer to Jerry first with his experience.
Okay. I'm kind of torn down the middle.
All right.
So let me just give you my real world experience. I say I'm torn down the middle because I think the thought of having these systems is great. Actually using it in real world scenarios, I know 3 particular times I thought, dear God, we're going to crash because of this.
Okay.
One of those happened a lot, and my ex-co-driver, Don, can contest to the same thing, and that is when you're in the right-hand lane and a car is taking an exit, they can be in the turn lane, and it's still picking that car up, and it's hitting the brakes and slowing you down.
Yeah.
That would happen commonly, but it wouldn't slam on the brakes. The second thing was I was coming out of a truck stop one time, and this was probably after about 3 months of having the truck. And correct me if I'm wrong, but on the truck that we had, 9947, I think it was version 4. I think your newer trucks are version 5. I don't know.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Okay. But we were coming out of a very busy truck stop, and the roadway in and out of the truck stop was one way. So trucks coming in, and I was coming out. As I turned to the right to come out, it was close, but there was a truck coming in. It thought I was going to hit the truck and slammed on the brakes and threw Don out of the sleeper.
Wow.
Whereas I knew I had plenty of room to go beside him.
Yeah.
The third instance was we were on a small little 2-lane road coming out of the middle of nowhere up in Oregon. We were going up this super windy mountain. The road was so tight and the road was so curvy that as I was turning one time around a corner, it actually thought I was so close to the mountainside, it slammed on the brakes and threw him out of the sleeper.
I'm sensing a similar trend.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was not me. It was
Don
the truck.
goes flying out of the sleeper.
Every time he would always come up there, what's going on? It was the truck. I did not touch the brake at all.
Yeah.
And those were 3 times that it happened, and then I was like, I do not like this. All the other times, don't get me wrong, I would use it in stop and go traffic. I love the automatic cruise feature. That's different.
That's different. That is the automatic. Yep. Yeah, that is a. I'm sure if this rule comes out, that'll be an option, but that's not.
Yep.
Right now, that's kind of the only way you can get it. But if this rule comes out, that'll be an optional feature.
So, as Rizzo said, I think it's good. The thought. Just like in cars, I think it's good. I think from the version I had, it needed work. It still needed a lot of input because it could be better, in my opinion.
Vince, your 15 minutes?
Yeah, I wanted to hear Jerry's reaction because I can't say I've actually used it in real world experiences. The most I've traveled, my travel with it currently is about 20 miles one way from the yard to a shop. I did take the tractor up to Medina once, so that was 100 and something miles with that, but I didn't have any bad experiences with it there.
Yeah.
The adaptive cruise control I love,
and that tractor might be 5.0. I don't think it's 4.0.
Okay, but there were no situations where I felt that it kicked in the automatic brake. Matter of fact, in none of my experience with it have I had it do the automatic braking. Again, the adaptive cruise control, but not the automatic braking. I've read in forums and comments on articles things like Jerry is saying where it kicks on without the need. It sees a building or a billboard or whatever the case may be, and it slams on the brakes. My question is, when it does that, you get brake lights, indicator on the back of the truck telling people they're braking. The other question is with adaptive cruise control, when it kicks in and slows you down, are you seeing brake lights?
No, it depends on what they're using, because if it's just like if you're driving the truck manually and you just take your foot off the gas to slow the truck down naturally, then it would not show. It's
Sure,
the same
that
thing.
makes sense.
It'll do the same
That
thing.
makes sense.
And on the adaptive cruise portion, in my experience, 95% of the time, it never even touched the brake. It would always use the engine brake to slow you
Just
down.
slow you down. Okay. So I've not had experience with it. I think my feelings are this is a good idea. What seems like what counters this with the negatives is if you're being aware as a driver and you recognize your truck is doing that, if you press the accelerator, does it not override that brake?
It does if you floor it.
And again, I recognize that you're not always going to sense that and be able to make a big difference with the accelerator. I think you've talked about, Patrick, too, about the change in accidents with trucks that have this system versus not having it, and it really being a big difference in what it is. It's one of those things without having that firsthand knowledge of it, a firsthand experience with it over the road with long periods of time. I think it's a good idea. Has it improved enough to the point where it can be mandated and we can use it safely and successfully consistently? Well,
and we're talking about federal mandates too, right? So if you look at your major trucking companies, they've already switched over to it. FedEx Ground already requires it. Your Big M, your Schneider, your Swift, all those guys, they're already doing it.
Okay.
Because it is such a safety. Now they're doing it strictly for insurance purposes. They get a discount on their insurance because it's so much safer. The insurance companies go,
Gotcha.
hey, we don't have to charge you as much because you're not having these wrecks.
Same accidents, right?
Yes. So the amount of good it does versus the driver annoyance, that's the tricky part, right?
Sure.
That's where the rub comes in. We've obviously, as a company, we've made a commitment to when we place orders, we are ordering these systems. We're not available on the older 5700 Western Stars.
Okay.
So that's why those don't have any in.
Right.
But the new Cascadias, almost all of our new Cascadias have them. Starting with the next generation of M2 from Freightliner, they're all going to have them.
Wow.
And so we'll start seeing those towards the end of this year to come out. The Volvos already have them, although we're not buying any more Volvos. They already had them. Obviously, I've made my choice because we're investing in them, right? And so we're paying around $6,000 per truck
Extra
to incorporate that. Right. And the safety benefit, I think I see it, but it's one of those things too where it's like, do you want the country mandating it? Is it an overreach? Is it a requirement? I'm kind of okay with it. My question is, why are we looking at this when we're not requiring disc brakes on trucks? Disc brake technology has been out for years, and it's been required in Europe for years, and it's not required in America.
So is it, me being cynical, I won't go there. I think the government mandating this as a safety feature is a good thing. It does save fleets cost for accident insurance claims.
Yes.
I think when you look at that, it's a good thing. I think there have been a couple of different things that they've mandated for vehicles. I was talking to Melissa Lee the other day. I was watching a video this is years ago when they first mandated reverse cameras in cars.
Yeah.
And they were showing a pickup truck. And this pickup truck had, I forget how many kids sitting behind it in a straight line. And I want to say it was like 15 kids. And you couldn't see them looking out the rearview mirror or just looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
But the rearview camera showed them clearly. So things like that are proven safe.
Yeah.
Proven to improve safety. When it comes to additional cost to the owner of the vehicle, it's hard to say, yes, we need to mandate that, but what's proven safety, I think we do. And then over time, as more vehicles are using this technology, that cost technology comes down, and that cost does come down as well.
Absolutely.
You're also saving money on insurance claims, that kind of thing. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and you look at things like airplanes, like airbags.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Airbags on a car, that was such a big deal when that came out. I lived through that And then it was ridiculous. It came to cars. Then it came to trucks. Why does a pickup truck need an airbag?
Right.
Like, it was obscene that they had to do that. And now nobody thinks twice about it.
No, and
It's such a good safety device. I mean, Eric and I were in a very bad wreck. I was actually on the phone with Jerry when it happened.
Yep.
And
hands free.
And we were hands free. And we were completely immersed in airbags and walked away. Eric got a cut on his foot. I hurt my pinky.
Ouch.
I know. Well, why does a pinky hurt so much?
Why
when
is
you
there
hurt
no
it?
Why is there no pinky finger airbag?
Well, the airbag pushed my pinky into a door, but I mean, we walked away fine.
Yeah.
Out of a very bad wreck. Those rules, the crush impacts, all that stuff that they require for cars, it's huge, and it's effective. It works.
And the airbag rules have evolved over time as well, from
and they've gotten better.
The driver airbag, the passenger airbag, and nothing else, to the side impact airbags and all the others. The mandate that you have to be able to disable the passenger side airbag when there's nobody in that seat, or when with a child in that seat. So those rules
now
and
it's
the technology,
automated.
it's automated.
Yeah. So like if you're in
my Ford Flex 2014, Melissa was getting in earlier. She was moving a water bottle, and I just happened to catch that it switched from passenger off to on when she made it into the seat fully. I know it's there. I've seen that thing before. I've just never caught it switch. But that technology where it's automated that way. But again, the technology evolves, and the rules around the technology evolve as well to help improve that safety.
Well, and two, I think about you drove for years in one truck. You have 3 examples of when you were really nervous. I'm sure there were others where it was annoying. I've had several people send me dash cam footage of, hey, just so you know, the adaptive cruise saved me last night because I didn't see this deer run in front of me and it stopped me in time. Or this car cut me off, or this car brake checked me. I didn't move my foot fast enough. The truck braked itself. So I've got all those stories to weigh against it.
Sure.
And so I'm a huge proponent of that technology for that reason. The point is, you're on 4.0. So this is Detroit Assurance, or Detroit Assurance, yeah, 4.0. We're at 5.0 now. If this rule went in tomorrow, which it won't, I mean, if they're proposing a rule, we could be a year before we see an answer to this. Yeah. It's saying 3 years past that point for the requirement. So we're going to be on Detroit Assurance 8.0 by the time that comes out. So it's getting so good so fast. I mean, I remember the Volvo came out, how impressed I was with it. I drove a Volvo the other day, and I was like, oh, man, this is not good. I thought it was, but after driving the Cascadias around, you really see that 2017, 18 technology versus a 2021 technology, it's night and day. It's huge. And that's not a lot of years. It's 3 years, but it's a huge difference.
It's not.
So 2026, 2027, I mean, I think we'll see it get, especially when it becomes required. I think you'll see a huge jump in that improvement.
I was going to say, I agree wholly. Wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Wholly works too, but I'm, I'm not a man of the collar.
Even though I had those annoyances, like you said, I would still probably prefer to have one, because like the other things, like the adaptive cruise and stuff, I used that all the time. Like the 4.0 would take me all the way down to 0 in traffic. And as long as we didn't sit there more than 5 seconds, it would start moving again.
Yeah.
Wow.
After 5 seconds, you just tap the pedal and it'll start going.
Yeah.
So I really did enjoy that. And you're right about technology improving, because you look at my 2023 car, I have all of those same systems in my car. It'll warn me and pop up on the dash, but it doesn't slam on the brakes. It's a lot better, so technology will evolve, and I agree with that.
And it's funny because my Jeep, I have a 2022 Jeep, and it works great. I love it.
Yeah.
It every now and then it'll just randomly go off for no reason. It saw a speck of dust and got scared. And it's like, huh? And then it's gone. It's just like, oh no, and then it's gone. And I probably get that once a month. Maybe less, maybe once every other month. So I do understand the frustration to a degree, because I'm experiencing it with my own car.
Sure.
But again, I do expect that technology to get a lot better. And when you look at the overall benefit, and everybody's a good driver until something happens.
Right.
I mean, I get it. I'm a great driver. I never had a single wreck up until 2-3 years ago. I've driven.
It just takes that.
I've probably driven 1 million miles, and then all of a sudden, boom, car pulls in front of me, and I hit it.
I will say,
Like-
I remember one instance in the truck that it did save me. Like, there was specifically one time that I took my eyes off the road for a second. I was looking to my left, and a car slammed on his brakes, and it did stop me. So it does work.
Yeah. And you've got people out there that are foolish. I see these, Facebook loves to send me these videos of people brake checking tractor trailers.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, for everybody I see that does that, I just want to take a baseball hammer and bash their windshield in. Like, that you just the lowest of low that brake check a semi. But,
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
What's a baseball hammer?
Is that what I just said?
I was just going to let it go. Right?
I can't let it go. I'm just.
I was
curious
debating
what
between a baseball bat or a
is.
hammer. I just want to take a baseball bat or a hammer and be like, it's hammer time up on these people.
Gotcha.
Not to them. I don't believe in physical
Gotcha.
abuse to people, but I could bash
get
your
it.
windshield in
Sure.
with a baseball or a bat or a hammer or a baseball, just in the fist.
That might hurt a little more.
That's gonna hurt.
But yeah, a baseball hammer. I get it. I
Yeah,
understand now. Thank you.
But yeah, that bothers me. But that does. So it's not necessarily like, oh, we got to protect all these rookie drivers because yada yada. No. It's other idiots on the road.
Sure.
And it's the unexpected. In deer season, I can't tell you how many hoods we replace. Every year we probably spend $50,000 in deer related issues. That would this save all of them? No, but it would take a huge chunk out.
Chunk out of them, yeah.
And again, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, if a deer cuts across real close, you can't even see it, especially at night or dusk or something.
Right.
But the radar does.
The radar does.
The radar knows it's there.
When you look at the numbers here, though, and I'll stop after this, but estimated cost of $353 million is what this is going to cost annually. The net benefit, take that 353 cost out, between 1.8 and 2.6 billion dollars.
Yeah.
That's in things like insurance claims for body work for deer,
Yes.
that kind of thing. Personal injuries when someone gets hit when the truck rear ends them.
Yep.
There's a lot of costs there that go away. Again, and we're not talking about the actual physical pain and suffering of someone who gets injured in an accident.
Yeah.
The driver of the truck or the other vehicle. You can't quantify what that pain cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those other insurance claims, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
We're talking about, even on the low end, $1.6 billion in net savings. So that alone tells me, yeah, this is a good idea.
I think it is.
It's a great idea.
I just want to go back and say I think it needs to be in conjunction with disc brakes.
I agree.
When you look at a
I agree.
situation like what happened out in Colorado where that guy came down the mountain, lost his brakes, and killed his people, that's from overheating drum brakes.
I agree.
Can disc brakes be overheated?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
But they are 100 times less likely to.
Right.
They don't absorb the heat. They have tremendously more stopping power, and you would eliminate so many issues just with that
let me
change.
tell you, whenever that automatic braking kicked in on my truck, we stopped.
Yeah, it's quick.
It's
with a
fast.
quickness. Yeah. Yes. Well, you talked about, Jerry, that you were distracted and your system kicked in. Now, you were distracted because of what was happening to the side of your vehicle that you were paying attention to. But, Vince, you sent me an article about something that's coming up real soon that we need to talk about, and it's about distracted driving.
It is.
And it's a
big one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. So in the state of Michigan, there are new laws that go into effect next week.
Now, that's the state that looks like a mitten.
It does. Yes, it's like a mitten, exactly. So effective on June 30th of 2003, a new hands-free driving law will go into effect in Michigan. It's going to build upon existing state laws that forbid texting behind the wheel. This is an article from CDL Life that I'm reading from here. Drivers will not be allowed to touch a phone or other device with their hands, arms, or shoulders under new hands-free laws. So under the new law, holding or using an electronic device while driving for any of these reasons is going to be illegal. Send or receive a telephone call, send, receive, or read a text message, view, record, or transmit a video, access, read, or post to a social network site. So the new law makes holding or using a phone behind the wheel a primary offense, which means you can now be pulled over in Michigan for holding or using a phone. It doesn't have to be a secondary offense. So in the past, if you were speeding and you happen to be holding a phone in your hand, you got a speeding ticket and a distracted driving ticket. Now, distracted driving can be the reason they pull you over. They don't have to have a different reason to pull you over for that. That just happened to go into effect here in Ohio, too, in a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Commercial drivers and bus drivers who violate the new law face the following penalties, which are stiffer than for passenger vehicles. The first violation is a $200 fine or 32 hours of community service or both. The second or subsequent violation is a $500 fine or 48 hours of community service or both. If an at-fault crash occurs where the driver is at fault while they're distracted, the driver is subject to a double penalty from what I just mentioned. The exceptions to the law: if you're using your phone hands-free, you're fine. If you're sending a text hands-free, as long as you're not touching the phone, literally reaching out and touching it. Usually, some laws say one touch, one button is good. Michigan's not doing that. They're saying any touch of the phone at all is distracted driving. So using voice commands or hands-free modes on your GPS or on your cell phone, you're okay. To place phone calls, I'd imagine. I think if you're reading or responding to a text, in my opinion, if you're responding to a text, well, that means you've read the text, which what we just talked about is not legal.
Well, so
it can read the text to you.
Yes.
So if it's reading a text to you, you're okay, and you're responding to it with your voice. But you got to be careful. Look, we all know that when you have a cell phone in your hand, whether we've done it or we've seen somebody else doing it, and we see how erratically they drive, it's just not safe.
Yes.
So don't do it. In Michigan, they're going to fine you heavily if you're doing it in Michigan. And with a lot of carriers, that one distracted driving violation is automatic disqualification. With both Panther and FedEx carriers that we work with,
1 year.
1 year, you cannot drive for them anymore. And we can't put you in the other carrier's truck. If you get a Panther violation and Panther says, nope, can't do it, FedEx ain't going to take you for that year as well.
Yeah.
So, it's is it worth your career to respond to that text while you're driving down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love this because I think, as most of us, if you spend any time out on the road, if you haven't spent any time on the road, you may be thinking, well, that seems strict, especially if they're going to fire you, or suspend you for a year.
Yeah.
It seems crazy. I'm telling you right now, I have seen all kinds of stuff. People responding to a text message and the vehicle goes everywhere.
Everywhere.
People don't realize too, like when you have a cell phone in your hand and you're driving and you look away, your body's natural inclination is to turn towards where you're looking.
Yes, it is.
So if you're looking here, you will start to drift to the right.
Yep.
If you're looking here, you will start to drift to the left. Your body automatically does that distinctively. It's from your inner ear, and that happens. And then you see people catch themselves, they correct themselves, they look back down, they move over again, they correct themselves, and you see a car just going crazy. And you see trucks doing it too.
All the time.
All the time. The one click, one push button thing, up until a couple of years ago, not even a couple of years ago, up until a year ago, I would have said, that's extreme. Like to say you can't push your button and answer your call, because I had a Blue Parrot, and that's how you answered your call. You press the button and you answered it, and it answered that way. And so now saying you can't even do that, I used to think that's crazy, but I'm an Apple person. I don't use Android. Maybe y'all know a little bit about this. Apple will just straight up say, you have a call coming in from Vince.
Right. Answer it.
Would you like to answer it?
Yep.
And I can say no, or I can say yes. And
Blue Parrot will do that as well. If you're paired to a phone, Blue Parrot will say, incoming call, answer it, yes or no. But again, pressing the button on your headset's okay.
Is it?
You can't press the button on your phone.
I would be...
Because that requires you to look at your phone.
Yeah. It says drivers are not allowed to touch a phone or other device with their hands, arms, or shoulders. That's, hey,
So I guess
if
we
you
need
are,
a definition of
we need,
other device.
exactly, we need a little more information. If you are listening to this and you have some intel on this, please let us know. We'd love to correct this in the next episode, but we will do some more research as well, and we will find out if this affects the Bluetooth devices or not. I think it does, but it may not.
There is a link at the bottom of the article that I'm actually reading through now. It gives more details on it. So I'm trying to find that. But if we don't find it just now in our conversation here, we'll get back with that.
Yes. I do like they put in social media networking sites, the videos. I'm telling you, I've seen all kinds of stuff with pictures and videos of people taking down the road from semi-trucks. You can tell from the hood mirrors, and you can tell they're taking from the driver's seat. And it's like, you'll take a picture, or the people take a picture or a video going down the road, like, oh, look at this idiot stuck in a ditch or whatever. And it's like, you're doing driving, the most dangerous thing you can do.
Yep.
Like, you're going to end up the exact same way. What are you doing? So yes, I love this. I would love to see this become more of a nationwide, which it pretty much at this point is fairly nationwide. But yes, make it stricter, make it worse. I mean, it's just uncalled for. There's no reason for it. The technology has gotten so good. There's just no reason for it anymore. And I have, I've called family members, and they're like driving down the road, and we're talking. They're like, hold on a second, I got to put my phone down because I'm going by a cop or something.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Why did you answer?
Yeah.
Or why do you not have your phone on your Bluetooth or connected to your car? Or like, especially like, some of these family members, I know they got like nice BMWs, and I'm like, your car has CarPlay. What are you doing?
I think we're at the point now where
there's just no excuse.
There's no excuse. Don't tell me that you can't afford to buy a headset when you spent $1,000 on a phone. Okay, maybe you're not spending $1,000 up front of the phone. You're paying in payments, but how much do headphones with microphones cost? $10, if that.
Yeah, even the wired ones.
Wired ones, yeah, they're not expensive.
No,
it's ridiculous to not have something available.
Yeah.
The further didn't give me any further information. It just talks about hands free. It doesn't talk about headsets and that kind of thing. So that may need some clarification. But there really is no excuse for running down the road with the phone to your ear, with the phone in your hand on speaker.
Yeah.
Texting somebody. There's just no excuse for it these days. So you mentioned that it's almost nationwide, that it is that way. It is nationwide. Every state has a hands-free law. Mm-hmm. What's being changed now, which I mentioned just happened in Ohio a couple of months ago, is they're making it where using your cell phone in a car, distracted driving, is now a primary violation. And I don't know how many states are doing that. I was surprised that Ohio was that way when I first saw that the law changed.
Yeah.
Michigan now is changing it that way. So I don't know how many states are doing that, but I think that's where most states are going to be going, is that distracted driving can now be a primary violation. Again, meaning that if they see you with a cell phone in your hand, they're going to pull you over. It doesn't require a different type of violation as the primary speeding, tailgating, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then they add the distracted driving. Distracted driving that's your primary violation.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the thing is, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Put your phone in your cell phone holder when you get in the truck.
Yep.
And forget it's there and tell Siri to do everything for you.
Exactly.
And Siri's obedient.
Yes, she is. She is.
Yeah.
Or he is, because some folks use
They use a British guy, right?
Siri, or he can use all kinds of different Siris.
Is there multiple now?
Multiples.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have British. Don has Australian.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
No,
similar but different.
Okay.
They use different words differently.
Yeah.
Mine is Australian.
I tell you, it's funny. You were talking about like if your natural reaction to go whichever way you're looking. I will admit I don't use my phone, and I never did on the truck. But Don yells at me all the time because I even do this in my car. If I do get a text or something, or I get a ding on my watch, like CNN or something like that, I'm driving and I will do this. And the second I do that, I immediately start drifting.
You know what I've done on my watch, or on my phone, which works to my watch, is I set my alerts for twice a day. I get alerts on my phone at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
You can do that.
You can. I do get text. So you can adjust what alerts you get when.
Right.
So I do get text when they come in because they're urgent, or generally urgent. But my other alerts, news stories, weather, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. is the only time I get them. So my phone's not constantly going off.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
yeah.
That does make sense. For me, when I'm driving down the road and my Apple Watch dings something, I've turned most of my notifications on my Apple Watch off because I found it annoying. But B, when it does come in, I usually just ignore it because I'm just that kind of person.
Sure.
I've also got an Apple Watch 4, and they're like on 22 now. So
And the battery lasts you like 2 hours a day.
it does. I get 10 hours of battery life out of a battery that was supposed to work for 48 hours.
At least the face on yours didn't pop off like Melissa's.
It didn't pop off, but you got to look through the scratches. That's probably why I ignore it, because I can't read it while I'm driving down the road. It's too small and too scratched up. Well, it's that time of the show where we talk about airplanes. We are contractually obligated per the financier of this show to talk about the airplane of the week. And in this case, the airplane of the week is a Delta Airlines Airbus A350-900. Now, the reason we have brought this up is for my birthday and also kind of Eric's, who just had a momentous birthday. We went down to Ecuador and Peru and spent some time down there and had a great trip. It was wonderful. Saw some llamas and alpacas. I was ready to steal an alpaca and just take my chances smuggling it back to America. Other people, not
you
really.
can fit them in your luggage.
I was just gonna pretend it was a stuffed animal
Oh, there you go.
and bring it back like
Life size.
No, it's robotic. That's why it's moving around. They're so cute. Anyways, but we can get them here. We have alpaca farms around the Columbus area, so maybe one of these days I'll buy one. I don't know. It was a great trip. I appreciate everybody kicking in and pitching in while we were gone. But from Lima, Peru, back to Columbus, Ohio. Back to Atlanta. We flew this Delta Airbus A350-900. Now, the A350 airplane from Airbus is their most modern, state-of-the-art. It's considered a next-generation aircraft. It's got next-generation airplane engines. It is one of my favorite airplanes ever built. It is extremely comfortable. The fuselage for this thing, so it's a wide-body airplane. It's a big airplane. In economy, it seats 3, 3, and 3, so 9 seats across.
Okay.
And when I say 3, 3, and 3, that means 3 seats an aisle, 3 seats an aisle, and 3 seats for the airplane.
Window, right?
Yes. So it is a very large airplane made for really long haul flying. It's only 2 engines. It's not 4 engines. It's only 2 engines. And these engines are massive, and they are freaking dead quiet.
Really?
That's one of my favorite thing about next generation aircraft is how quiet they are. And this is no exception. For being a humongous, massive airplane, it's so quiet. And one of the things people talk about, Boeing 777, which is the competitor to this airplane.
Right.
It's a more traditional airplane, has an older style engine. It's a General Electric engine, and when they wind up, they produce this crazy roar, and it's the most powerful engine in the world, and people talk about how cool that is. This, complete opposite. Dead quiet. I mean, it's wonderful. And when you're doing a long trip and you're flying for hours and you need to get some sleep, quiet is your friend.
Quiet's important. Sure.
The airplane fuselage.
Unless the guy next to you is snoring.
Well, yeah. You use an elbow for that. I've learned. So, but the airplane itself, the fuselage and the wings are made out of composite materials. There's some metal in there, but for the most part, it is all fiberglass, just wound together.
Okay.
And that is a lot stronger than what metal is. And so they're actually able to keep the pressure in the airplane closer to sea level. And so they do things like the temperature's a little cooler. They incorporate humidity in there. It's not dry. You ever been on a long flight and you get done with the flight and you're like, oh my gosh, I need lip gloss, I need water. You don't feel that way in these airplanes at all. They keep the humidity levels high in the airplane, and they make for a very, 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 very comfortable experience. I like this because we flew this from Lima to Atlanta. Our good friends Kelly and Jimmy, who are on the podcast several weeks ago, they flew this same airplane, literally like 2 or 3 airplane numbers off, like tail numbers off, like
wow,
like literally the same airplane, just a couple serial numbers off.
Triplet brother.
Exactly. They flew it to Israel and back.
Okay.
So they had that experience, and then I had this experience on it. And what's really fun about this for me, for being the airplane geek, this is a very special setup from Delta. Delta bought these airplanes used from LATAM, which is a Latin American airline.
Okay.
Great airline.
Did they send them to Bolt to outfit them?
No, they didn't outfit them at all. They sent them, they got them, they literally put seat covers on that say Delta.
Okay.
And sent them back out.
Wow.
They did nothing to them. But right now, they're in the process of converting them all over to their normal spec. So we actually got to fly it in its old LATAM spec with just literally the Delta seat covers is the only difference. Right. And so it's like a weird situation where for just a brief moment in time, Delta had a plane that didn't match any of their other planes. And Eric and I got to experience it. Again, as a general public, who cares?
Yeah, sure.
But for someone like me, that's awesome. That's like getting to drive the Cadillac they only made for 1 year that everybody loved, or something. And so it was really cool to experience this. This plane will go, if it's not already inbound to, I think they're Singapore. They're flying, I think, at Singapore, and they're outfitting them there. And they'll rip all the seats out, rip all the entertainment systems out, everything, completely redo it as a Delta plane and send it right back. So that's the plane I got. I thought it was cool that, Kelly and Jimmy and Eric and myself got to fly on the same type of weird configuration. There's only one moment in time this is even possible, and it just happens to be right now. And then it'll be back to, you won't be able to tell the difference between any of the airplanes. That is the airplane of the week. I love it. The A350. It's a great airplane. Second one I've flown on. The first one I've flown was Virgin America. This one was Delta. And I just tell you, when you fly on these next generation planes, you do not want to go back to
I believe it.
Old 767 or something. 40-year-old airplane.
Let's keep the quiet planes, please.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
And the quiet children.
or no children.
Or no, even better.
So I'm excited about something that's coming up here, Patrick.
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you want to take a guess?
Yes.
Oh, I'm listening.
July 21st to the 22nd.
Expedite Expo.
And Crossroads
of America Truck Show.
That's what I think.
That's exactly what I wasn't going to talk about.
All right.
Well, Expedite Expo, Crossroads of America Truck Show on July 21st and 22nd in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum.
Well, I believe it's going to happen July 21st and 22nd.
I believe it is.
In Fort Wayne, Indiana.
That's a good one. Good.
At the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum.
Yes.
And who's going to be there? We will be there.
We will be there.
We will? Okay. I got a question about parking.
Okay, I'm listening.
We've been telling people $16 to park.
A truck.
A truck.
Yes.
For a hot minute now.
Yes.
I just got an email about this. It says $18.
I saw that, but I also saw that we've been telling folks $8 for cars,
and it's
$6.
Okay, so parking is between $6 and $8 for personal vehicles, and 16 and 18. But I will tell you that for commercial trucks, I will tell you this: the email did explicitly say
it did.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I think we did this.
I think we did.
I think this is our fault.
We started something,
and you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It explicitly says trucks will only be charged each time they pull in and pull out of the parking lot.
Yep.
And if they stay overnight, they will not be recharged for the second day. Explicitly says that. So, I think you're welcome.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
And yes, it's the things we do for our fan base.
You're welcome.
It's the things we do for our Hyfield family.
Yes, it is.
It's the things we do for people who don't like us.
Yeah, we don't have a special list of people who won't be charged more than once. If you stay in the lot,
that would be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Just here's the list. Here's the truck numbers. You just need to go and collect the secondary. Anyways, we're not going to do that.
No, we're not.
It's going to be a great show. Come Friday morning, there's going to be breakout sessions all over the place at the Coliseum. They're going to be talking about things such as what's it like to be a millennial in trucking? How do you maintain your vehicle? FedEx Custom Critical is going to be doing a breakfast there. I think you have to RSVP for that if you want to go, but it's only to FedEx Custom Critical contractors. So you should have gotten an email from FedEx about it. So check that out. If you didn't, and you're in the Hyfield family, reach out to one of us, and we will get you that information. Yeah. It's a great show. There's tons and tons of breakout sessions. One of these days we'll write it down. We'll probably write it down for the session. The right after it happens.
Right after.
Right after.
We'll go to the session, write down the notes. I need to back up here a second.
Okay.
So I looked at that email that you were talking about,
Yes.
and it does say $6 per car and $18 for a truck.
That's so weird.
The Expedite Expo website that I'm looking at right now says it's $8 for cars, van, pickup trucks, and motorcycles. RVs, straight trucks, and semi-trucks are $16 per day. So we were giving information based on their website.
Which is still up to date.
It's still up to date today. I'm looking at it right now. So we don't know. So what you said was correct.
Yes.
To park a personal vehicle, a car, van, pickup truck, or motorcycle is going to cost you between $6 and $8. To park an RV, a straight truck, and semi-truck is going to cost between $16 and $18.
Cool.
I just want to clarify that we were giving good information. We weren't.
Oh, I didn't think we were giving bad information. I thought the rules had changed, but it sounds like they haven't. Yeah.
The day after this podcast releases, which is Saturday,
the website will
on Sunday, it will be updated.
It'll be updated.
I promise you, it'll be updated.
If that's the case, I want an apology. If
I do too.
Expo, if you're hearing me and it's wrong and we corrected it, I want an apology.
On air,
publicly.
Yes.
Speaking of which, did you see that they had me on Road Dog?
I saw that.
Yeah. They asked me to be a guest speaker for it. She said 15 minutes. I said, how am I going to fill 15 minutes of content?
And you probably went way over, didn't you?
I don't talk that much. 15 minutes goes so fast. I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say. 15 minutes goes by in 38 seconds.
Snap, yeah.
It's crazy. But Leah Shaver?
Sure.
She was so sweet. She's going to be at the expo. I can't wait to meet her. I think I have met her before, but I wasn't going to say that. When she was like, I can't wait to meet you, I was like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So, but we're going to be at booth 413. You can't miss us. We'll be in the middle next to Expediter Services. We are not going to have a truck in our booth. It is all going to be about hanging out with everybody. We've got a schedule of when the mentors will be in the booth. We've got little micro. I don't even tell you everything. It's going to be fun.
This is going to be a good time.
Come out and see us. Come out and hang out with us. You're going to meet us. You'll have the opportunity to meet a bunch of YouTube channels that you like. You're going to have the opportunity to go talk to a bunch of different carriers, even carriers we don't work with.
Sure.
I think Melissa Buttermilk says, do your research.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity to do your research. You will be able to talk with all kinds of people. But I think it's worth going out to see. And if you're there Friday night, come hang out with us.
Casino night.
We are sponsoring Casino Night. Hey now. You say it so much better than I do.
I got a little more bass in my voice.
Well,
it's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
You know I was going to go.
You have
to.
Oh, yeah.
Expo. So Casino Night
next time you have a cold and a little congestion, then
I can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sore throat would be like, hey Vince, I could do the hang now today.
There you go.
So, but yeah, we Casino Night's a blast. It's Casino Night after party. We have some. There's gonna be some music going on. We're gonna have some drinks going on. We're gonna have some games, table games. We can have blackjack, poker, craps, roulette. Not Russian roulette. This is American roulette.
American roulette.
What's everything?
That's everything. That's all table games.
Yeah, and
but lots of them though.
Lots of them. I think we're bringing our cornhole.
They're doing a cornhole competition on Thursday night as well. We'll have ours Friday.
Yes, I was requested. Can we bring it Friday as well? So I guess cornhole's the new thing.
Cornhole's the thing.
So we're gonna have our cornhole table set up, and we're also our tables, platforms. I don't know what we call it. So we're gonna have giant Jenga there as well. If y'all want, I think it's a thing still, right?
Yeah, it's a thing still. Sure. I just saw it just the other day at the air show. They had one in the little booth there.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw that. When I went and got my food at the buffet line, and it was like totally up, but it was only on one block, and I was like, that doesn't look good. I go back to my table, drop the food off, I go back up for my drink, and by the time I get to my drink, it had completely fallen over, and nobody around. It just, yeah.
So a Blue Angel flew by.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Those guys were getting it.
They were getting it, and that was loud.
It was loud.
Did you see the pictures Jerry put up from it?
I did.
I didn't.
Why didn't you?
He put pictures up?
I know he sent us pictures.
I sent them to y'all. I didn't put them on Facebook or anything.
Oh, you should do that. Yeah, keep an eye out for the pictures that Jerry may or may not put out from.
Buttermilk put one up. I seen.
Oh, good. Did she?
Two.
Cool.
Oh, She did too.
I tell you what, the Blue Angels were cool.
Yeah.
The F-22 Raptor.
Oh my goodness.
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't know if style wins you in a war conflict, but it can't hurt.
It can't hurt.
It can't hurt. I'm telling you, you do that over North Korea, they're going to have a problem.
Yes, they are.
I mean,
yes, they are.
He made the thing stand up
and
launch. In launch.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like a freaking space shuttle.
Yep.
It was unbelievable.
It was very impressive.
It was so cool. It was so cool. It was my first air show. I think we talked about it live a little bit, so I don't want to get, whatever. But I don't know how to talk. It was so good. I'm still thinking about just how impressive that was.
Yeah.
I want to go do like one of the ones down in Florida, Fun and Sun or something like that, or to go to Oshkosh and do the
the Oshkosh
EAA one. Yeah.
I've heard stories about Oshkosh. When years ago, I had a friend who was really in the aviation and on the smaller scale planes. And he went to Oshkosh, and he said the way they had so many people coming in, not to perform at the show, but people was flying in to see the show, to observe the show, that they would land planes three planes at a time. So he described it as you had the runway was sectioned off into A, B, and C.
Oh wow!
And you had planes that were lined up to land at exactly the same time in their section of runway. They're smaller planes. They don't require the full runway to land, but 3 planes at a time because they had so much traffic coming in.
Wow.
That'd be amazing to see.
It would be. Can you imagine getting your time slot? They're like, all right, you can land 4 days before the event.
Right, exactly.
And it's your only spot, and it's $15,000.
If you don't make it for that on that fourth day before the event, see you next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a shot. But
maybe try Madison and drive up. But that show, it used to be an experimental airplane like that. EAA, that's their big thing is experimentals. But it's totally turned into just all aviation stuff. It's gotten so massive. One of those. I think it'd be fun to go to one of those bigger shows because this was a small show and it blew my mind. I can only imagine what a massive show would be like. So
it's a good time.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. It's been a really fun time.
It has been a fun time
for being such a busy kind of go through the motions week. This was a nice pick me up. I appreciate it. Always fun hanging out with you. Always fun throwing Jerry a curveball. You did a job on the intro. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
it was fun.
Yeah.
But he'll edit it all out, and
he'll
put one in from you from like a week ago.
I know.
And,
would you like me to go ahead and welcome to the Out About Podcast? I'm Patrick, and you all know my co-host Chile.
Hey, how you doing?
And of course, we have our producer Jaber. So,
that'll save me a little bit of hunting for another episode.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh well, you got to be careful. You're gonna run out of hard drive space.
Maybe.
Anyways, well, everybody out there, you stay safe, make good decisions. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you saw today, give us a thumbs up.
Yes,
if you
please.
didn't like it, give us a double thumbs up.
Yes.
And leave a comment if you know about the Bluetooth One Touch with the Michigan state law that just went into effect. We'd love to get down to the bottom of that.
About that, certainly.
And like, subscribe.
Leave us a comment down below. Send us an email at theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com.
Share us with your family, your friends, your enemies.
All of them.
All of them.
Every single one.
We like to hear ourselves talk, and we think other people will too.
We do. We have fun doing this.
So close to closing in on 500 subscribers, guys. We are really, really close. So it'd be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's like 92% of you guys are not subscribed. It is free to do it. It
they are
doesn't cost
listening
you a
and not
thing.
subscribing.
I know. I don't know why.
I
do
thought
us
they
that
cared
favor.
about
Hit
us.
that subscribe button if you're listening to us. We really appreciate it. Doesn't cost anything.
And then you get automatic updates.
Exactly.
That when we go, you don't have to listen to us, but it just tells you.
Yeah,
it's no
tells
big deal.
you, hey, these guys are live again.
Yeah, it's not like a Walmart flyer or something.
There's no commitment.
There's no commitment.
Yeah, we if you decide you don't want to subscribe later on, we're not going to hold you to it, and we're not like a gym membership at all.
Right.
No.
You know,
you can always unsubscribe.
Always
later.
unsubscribe, or just ignore us.
Yeah, I just ignore us.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah.
We're not doing a great job at getting sponsors, are we?
We're not. Hey, do me a favor, all of you out there, don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a turning.
Good night.